Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are going after a hegemony in South America, playing as Brazil here. I think things are looking good overall. Colombia is still amicable with us. I could take on their debt. Give us an obligation, 2.46 million. Nope, can't afford that. Sorry, Colombia, your debt is just going to get larger. Because now we're draining money out of them. We've got a much larger diplomatic pact income, 7.74 thousand from Colombia. Peru Bolivia is still trying to reduce relations with us, which I wish they would not do. We can hit the button to reduce their autonomy, but they would make us fight over it. What about Venezuela? Venezuela, still on 25%. They are rebellious. And there's money problems. Wish we weren't having that. So let's go ahead and queue in a few more universities. I actually think we're going to need more. Let's go with 2 in Sao Paulo and 2 more in Bahia. And that's going to be really useful for us overall. I think it's going to be necessary. And then after that, I can finally kind of relax about constructions. And Chile is damaging relations again. Everyone's damaging relations with me. I'm not infamous. I'm very relaxed. I'm a very relaxed country, and the fact that I've been taking over other smaller countries should not bother any of the countries not being taken over. And yet, somehow, my aggression has generated negative consequences. I can't believe this. What's the point of being a great power if I can't just eat my neighbors? Finances are a little rough here. Let's take a look in technology and see what else we need. We got electric telegram spreading. That's good. Society. If I could get... Organized sports would be really nice. If I could get pan-nationalism, I could get another consumption tax. Corporate charters would let me get a corporation, though. I think that is very, very useful. I might be able to get myself... to build myself a Panama Canal, which would be nice. And then there's a bunch of things I need in production tech. I definitely need mechanized workshops. I kind of can't believe I don't have that yet. Then we should go into rubber mastication. That's going to be really important. Actually, before that, reinforced concrete. Because that'll increase our construction, and that's really important. After that, let's get dynamite. And after that, rubber mastication. Tech is a real weak point for the Brazilian Empire at the moment, just on account of things have been pretty, we've been spending a lot of money on stuff and not focusing on, we've been focusing on the economy and not the technology, and that's just been a little bit difficult. How much of this are we bringing in from trade routes? Almost half of our iron comes from trade routes. So actually, I was wrong. We do need iron mines. We need them badly. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to queue these iron mines in. And once a few more of these are built, I'm going to cancel whatever trade route is bringing in most of our iron, so that we can be relying on that. We've got an agitator going for laissez-faire, and I think that would be just fine, frankly, at this point. Who would oppose this? A lot of our interest groups that are already angry would oppose this. Let me see. Rural folk are feeling pretty happy overall. Landowners are feeling all right. At this point, I can't go to guaranteed liberties because I still have censorship. But if I go to right of assembly, let me see. Nobody too important would be upset by this. Let's give people the right of assembly. That is going to reduce my authority by a significant amount, which hopefully won't impact my finances too much. Hopefully. These iron mines have been a long time needing to be built, so this doesn't represent a change in the administration's policy towards the iron market. It's just something that I've been having on the docket for a long time. Yes, I didn't realize quite how much of my iron supply was coming from abroad, and I know I've been more cognizant of that in previous episodes, but it's something that, as long as it's doing okay, it feels like you can just slip your mind. But I've actually got quite a few iron mines. Each level of iron mines in my country produces 72, has the capacity to produce 72 iron. So if I'm producing if I've got 20 iron mines, that's going to be 1,400 iron, which is almost enough to fully supply my iron industry, all my iron needs. So I think that's going to be fine. We don't have any opposition to right of assembly at the moment. I lost a bunch of rivalries because of ranked... Oh my gosh! I'm a great power, finally. Excellent. And I need to divest some of my diplomatic pacts or find myself a new rival. Who's a good rival? Rivalry. Prussia, Russia, Spain, Italy, Austria. Let's rival Spain. And that's just fine. That's enough. So this is excellent. We're at 436 prestige, and that's made us really strong. So I'm really pleased by that. Lewd literature. The Emperor has been caught reading a controversial censored book, sparking further questions over the debate about the right of assembly law. The Emperor is meant to be an exemplar of our values, and the fact that he was caught reading anything as crass as The Naughty Colombian Train Conductor is frankly unacceptable. Oh my gosh, I want to read that book so bad. That's so good. The Naughty Colombian Train Conductor. Embarrassing, but this supports our cause. Reduce prestige. Oh, I don't want that. We should make this go away as quickly as possible. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. We'll be back for you, great powers. But oh gosh, I really need this. I can't take the... You know what? I like being a great power too much. I'm going to reduce my enactment chance. That is unfortunately going to leave me in a situation where I'm a little bit... where things are a little bit tight from a prestige perspective. I'm going to stop improving relations with France. Relations with France are pretty good overall. That's going to be plenty of prestige, plenty of influence to play around with, and you may not have a prestige debuff. So, let me see, what's going on over here? Any of y'all want to be a subject of mine? It's very safe to be a subject of Brazil's. No? Okay. Sad. So now that I'm a great power, Venezuela still won't let me reduce their autonomy. North Peru will not let me annex, but that's not shocking. Peru, Bolivia will mostly not let me reduce their autonomy. And Ecuador, I still have a truce with. So it's going to be a whole process. Alright, let's go ahead and cancel our iron import route from the United States. That's going to make our iron situation... We'll go ahead and cancel the one from Prussia as well. So that's going to make iron pretty expensive in the market overall. But I'm feeling pretty good. We're getting one more iron mine built, and that should be alright. Desperate allies. The proposal for right of assembly is sat in a deadlock. The intelligentsia have been advocating for enlisting Miguel Barreto's assistance and rallying the industrialists in favor of the government. There, upon the cusp of division, everyone sees that nobody has a majority yet. One by one it dawns on them. The loose cannons, led by the most rabid dog of the bunch, have the votes they need. But who among them will be the first to climb off their ivory tower and win their favor? I'm always going to make overtures to the undecided. This is a really good decision. Stronger industrialists and more enactment chance. Let's do it. Great sound design for that. And next we're going to get these universities built, and then we're going to kind of let the construction queue go for a bit and build us up a little bit more of a reserve. Transportation shortage in Rio Grande do Sul. That's not great. So let's go ahead and build a railway here. Once I built a railway. It's a line from Velvet Buzzsaw, a very favorite horror movie of mine. Netflix original. I've basically eaten through my entire reserve building stuff. Do I have... Wait, hold up. Is agrarianism... Agrarianism is technically a 50% private construction allocation law, but I think unfortunately we're just too heavy on... they just... The private sector can't really handle the amount of construction capacity I have. I have so much construction capacity here that the government's taking up a lot of it because the investment pool is just too small. And part of the reason that's the case is that we have a bunch of unrealized taxes somehow. How do we have unrealized taxes? Is the emperor... The emperor has expensive tastes. Well, that's unfortunate. Hey, got a success. We're in drafting now. I could make him abdicate. Going to be taken once every 29 years. Interesting. He's not over 75, but it's going to be another 12 years. Anyway, I'm hoping we get his son in charge, because that guy aligns with the intelligentsia, and having the intelligentsia be basically the only governing interest group is very, very all right. Radicals are going down a little bit. So far, the radicals aren't causing a huge problem. Loyalists are not very high, but they have been... They're basically holding steady. Where are we in the conversion process? That's actually really what's going to be the primary factor here. We're at almost 50%. All right, so the worst is behind us from a radicalization perspective. We should be getting a lot more loyalists going forward here as we atheize the country. We're going to have to go through this same process with all the territory that we annex, but it's going to be a lot easier because that's going to be sort of further out non-core territory. Oh my goodness, there's a capitalist revolt in France. Well, that is interesting. We could potentially get involved in this. I'm going to kind of wait and see what the European powers say. I'm not really in a situation where I can afford a war right now. An ultimatum. The industrialists have issued a stern ultimatum to Miguel Barreto about towing the party's line on the proposal for writ of assembly. Miguel Barreto is determined to resist. The matter wedged the caucus, and it was by their own making. Meanwhile, the issue at hand has given way to this fallout. Sheer stubbornness is what fuels it, with pride wagered in the gamble. Nothing will proceed without a timely resolution. Never interrupt an opponent when they make a mistake. 60% chance industrialists become stronger. 20% some of their pops become radical and we get enactment chance. Or we'll welcome any dissidents. Weaker industrialists, angry industrialists, Miguel Barreto gets stronger. I'm going to go with the first one. We did not get the enactment chance, but so that's mid. Italy sided with France. That's an interesting turn of affairs. I'm going to improve relations with Italy. Actually, no. Can I improve relations with Austria? I can't. It's going to take too much. So improve relations with Italy for now. And if we need to rival them later, then we'll go ahead and rival them. It's not going to be a huge tragedy. Institutions are still pretty good. I've got the capacity to go up to better education, but that would put me dangerously low on bureaucracy. I still think I'm going to do it, though, because I want to get literacy higher. More literacy would be very good for us. We do have a line item in here for welfare payments, but it's very, very low, so I'm overall feeling pretty confident in our ability to continue to operate the way we've been operating without having a problem. One of the things that's costing the government a lot is railway subsidies, but I gotta get that infrastructure. I just don't think there's any way around it. Once we got access to steam trains, which we'll get with steel railway cars, that'll be a lot better. And I think that will mean actually more infrastructure. Yes, it sure will. And there's organized sports. Wonderful. So I think actually we'll put that in our research queue, because that's something we kind of need. We'll put that ahead of dynamite and rubber mastication. Alright, free speech pamphlets. A pamphlet in favor of right assembly has been circulated illegally amongst most of our major cities. They print them faster than we can confiscate them, but we've pretty much given up on containing it. No point now, it's gotten out there. This will help our cause, 10%, or we could use this to push a stronger message. 75% chance of 20% enactment, 25% chance of 10%. Let's go for it. Excellent. We got there. So we're at 46% now. I'm feeling very confident. Again, we didn't have any stall chance, but now we have virtually no debate chance. So I'm feeling pretty good overall. Our finances are getting worse because we've got an interest line item now, but it's below £1,000. I think it's going to be above. I think it's going to crest. Its high point is going to be above 1,000, but once we get done with the construction queue, we'll be able to move back into having a reserve, and that'll be very good. Let's go ahead and build one more government admin, though. I know this is going to cost us, but it's worth it. That's just to make sure we've got a good amount of bureaucracy kicking around in case there's a problem. Again, I know it's going to be pricey, but it's going to be worth it. So, with all these universities built, where are we with technology? We're outputting 86 innovation. Our cap is actually 61 from literacy. And in fact, I think that actually means I can build even more universities. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll put another 2 levels in Minas Gerais, another level in Sao Paulo, another level in Rio de Janeiro, and then we'll do one more level in each of these areas. I know I just queued up a bunch more buildings. Hey, we're in voting. Excellent. Which is going to cost us even more cash from construction. But I need to get myself some. Number one, I need to get some overflow into my tech spread, because I'm still getting technology spread to me in tier 2, and that's a pretty rough place to be. So I need to get that passive gain. Lost an admiral. Let's go ahead and pull in a new one. You're a brave dockyard organizer, so that's a good thing to be. Put you on the top there. Again, that is once again going to cost me a pile of cash, but I think it's going to be worth it. If we can get some overflow and even just get up to our innovation cap, which we definitely will. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 universities in the queue, and we're about 10 universities worth below our innovation cap at the moment. So I think we're going to at least get to our cap, and that's going to be really worthwhile, because as a country we need to be able to stay ahead technologically in order to be able to stay ahead militarily, and staying ahead militarily is going to be critical in the next 30 or so years for Brazil to become the great power that it deserves to be, and that Pedro II de Bragança, may he rest in peace after being brutally assassinated by the landowners in a situation that we did not think was going to come to pass, but did. He will be able to realize his dream much better with better technology. That's what I'm saying. Popular playwright endorses reform. In the midst of the debate surrounding right of assembly, one of the country's leading playwrights, strongly associated with the intelligentsia, has staged a widely acclaimed play whose politically laden theme makes no secret of the author's desire for the law to be passed. Right of assembly will be on everyone's lips now. 10% enactment chance. Sure puts the intelligentsia in a good light. 10% interest group attraction. Or let us ensure the play gets a wider international audience. Prestige, but only for 5 years. I'm gonna go with the enactment chance. This will get us above 50 and let us get this knocked out, and then that'll put us in a much better position to flip over to guaranteed liberties, which is gonna give us a really strong rad bonus and just overall make our country more able to do all the things it wants to do from a political perspective without having gigantic repercussions in terms of radicals and other political situations. We are getting a bit of an uncomfortable interest line item here that I'm wishing I would not have. Porcelain import route is goofed. So we can definitely get porcelain from somewhere else. Let's close out this route. We can get some from the Austrian market. Austria has a very solid, very profitable porcelain import route that we can use to fulfill all our porcelain needs. How are things going, Austria? You're feeling cooperative towards this, which I'm pretty pleased about. Wow, we have a ton of pops living below the minimum expected SOL, which I did not expect. I think SOL just went up due to education. There's breech-loading artillery, so that's excellent. So let's go ahead and get all of these armies switching over to the new artillery production method. We've defaulted to shrapnel artillery. So we'll just hit upgrade all artillery, and this will sort out all of these armies. Perfect. And that's going at a good, tolerable clip. Discord within the armed forces. An influential faction in the armed forces has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of right of assembly. Themselves in favor of the law, they've now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. How can you stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor or duty to your fellow man? I say nay to such lack of ambition, and I dare say I'm not alone with this. With their support, the bill shall pass, 15% enactment chance, or the intelligentsia extend an open hand to these mavericks. So I'm going to do the second one. That'll make the intelligentsia stronger. Sweden wishes to enter an offensive pact with us. They're calling in our obligation. So before we do this, I'm going to start improving relations with Austria. That's going to give me an influence penalty, but I am going to be able to get this done. I'm going to halt relation improvement with Italy for the time being. I think Italy's wary, and I don't necessarily need that. That's going to give me the influence I need. So unfortunately, Sweden has forced us into a defensive pact. It's all right. It's not a tragedy. And Brazilian naval power is increasing, which I'm pretty pleased about as well. I know I said I was going to stop building stuff, but I just have to keep building stuff. I love building stuff. And I love technology, and I love universities. We're at 100 weekly innovation, and it's increasing all the time. And hopefully, with our increasing investment in our education institution, we'll continue to have rising literacy, and that will continue to increase our naval capacity, our investment capacity. So we are having a little bit of a... our pops want luxury clothes, and I do want to give them luxury clothes. So let's go ahead and see if we can't... Let's get luxury clothes from somewhere. Austria is another good country to buy luxury clothes from. Feeling pretty good about that overall. And at this point, perfect. Alright, we've got rid of assembly. So now we have the ability to go to guaranteed liberties. However, I am not actually going to do this. That is going to radicalize the petite bourgeoisie and the armed forces, and that is not a thing that I want right now. Instead, I'm just going to go ahead and let myself get done with the construction queue and then start to build up a better reserve and eat through my debt, because we got a 3K line item for interest, and again, not that big of an issue, but will become so if allowed to continue to... If we continue to have a debt spiral. We're currently 2 million in debt, which is... So as you can see here, the debt maximum is actually a lot higher than the than the reserve maximum. The reserve maximum is about, well, it doesn't even say from here, but it's about, I think, 4K, but our debt maximum is 10.4 million, so, whereas the reserve maximum is only about 2 million. So the reserve maximum, you can get pretty high, but you can get actually very, very deeply in debt before things become a problem. We've got some more influence available. I'm going to improve relations with Italy again. And hopefully this isn't going to cause a problem. So what's... Okay, Venezuela will accept a reduction in autonomy. I'm going to go ahead and push that button. That's going to make them a dominion. So, Peru, Bolivia will not necessarily accept. Ecuador will accept. So we're reducing Ecuador's as well. So that's helped our finances a little bit. Colombia, we still have a truce with, so I can't reduce theirs again for another 28 months. And then Peru, Bolivia, they're still quite, they're trying to get scrappy with us, and I don't want them to get scrappy with us. So that is the end of the construction queue. As you can see, I'm very focused on this. I am not, as a player, very partial to going into debt. Debt can lead to, particularly if you've got a pretty high interest payment, which I do, debt can lead to a real debt spiral, which becomes a real death spiral for your economy. Overly enthusiastic partisans. Supporters of the Conservative Party have gone beyond simply campaigning for their own party, harassing and sometimes physically attacking opposing partisans. I'm a simple party man, that's all. I know who I like and I know who I don't like, and I know I want my people to win and their people to lose. Crack down on the Conservative Party partisans. I'll definitely do that. So, what I mean by that death spiral is, the more debt you've got, the more you need to kind of make cutbacks in order to make yourself continue to be viable. Oh my goodness. The Free States. I really thought I had an interest declared up here, but, you know, that's wild. And there's an Anahuacan uprising, so that's pretty cool. Things are going kind of bananas over there in America, which is nice. We definitely have a standard of living problem, but we're oh, Genesis of the Argentine culture. Neat. Argentina, formerly known as a Platinian nation, has experienced a widespread cultural awakening, transitioning towards a distinct Argentine culture. So Argentine is Hispanophone and European heritage. They will be accepted in our country once we bring Argentina into the country. So at this point, I am getting plenty of cash from diplomatic pacts from my various vassals, and I'm not currently building anything, so it's going to take me a lot of weeks to actually get out from under the debt that I'm currently on at this rate. I could reduce military wages, but that's not actually going to improve all that much. If I reduce government wages, that'll give me a prestige debuff. But my nearest competitor is Italy. It's only going to be... It's 20% if I... Okay, so I can't afford 20%. But I could afford a reduction of 10%. And that's going to be okay. It's a 10% reduction in prestige, and I think that's alright. Kindly burn this letter. Deodoro de Fonesca, a prominent member of the Conservative Party, has been accused of gross corruption. He strenuously denied all allegations until damning letters surfaced signed by him. Yes, I'm willing to discuss the contents of these letters with the committee, if only I am given time to study the content of these letters in my personal chambers first. Of course, on my honor, I will not alter or destroy any of the evidence. Honest. The Conservative Party should stand by Deodoro de Fonesca and deny everything, or he should be isolated to protect the rest of the Conservative Party. I'm going to do the first one. That'll reduce the momentum by a bunch, and that'll make them lose the election real bad. Perfect. Another victory for the governing parties, particularly the Liberal Party. At this point, I think I can afford to stop bolstering the intelligentsia. And then I'm going to use that authority to throw a consumption tax on fruit, it turns out. And that's going to also improve our finances marginally. And at this point, I'll be... So it's still gonna take, I think, about 2 years to get out from under the debt that we've currently spent. But I think that's gonna be okay. I think that's not necessarily gonna be a problem. But we're gonna, it's gonna be, things are gonna be touch and go for a couple of years. We're gonna have to be more conservative. And we're gonna have to be maybe less aggressive in a variety of ways, not just in terms of our declaring wars, which we are gonna have to put a hold on for now. With that said, it is definitely time for the end of the episode. I have had fun with this. I hope you have had fun as well. And I will see you all on the other side.